Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. And hope you have a good weekend, if I forget. So this one is called Verified Pro slash major production company slash top industry professional. Okay. Based on a tweet I got from one of the homeboys. I'm not gonna say her name because I don't know if you want me to shout you out. So, but shout out, privately. Um, so based on, I'll touch on his text a little bit without giving away who he is or anything like that. But it's kind of the same thing these other people are saying. So I'll get to that. But it's based on that. And in my other video, I just kind of like boom, just blaze past that real quick. So I wanna slow down on that part for a second. So here we go. So let me say this first of all before I get into that, just in case, like, for the people, I'm too lazy, man. Like, I don't want to watch all this shit. Put it on 3 times speed. Um, if it's too slow or whatever. But if you think you're gonna learn how the industry works in a 12-second TikTok, it's not gonna happen, dude. The industry is way more nuanced than that. So anyway, here we go. So the way let me point this out. Services, right? So you pay to use them, right? They say pay us, and then we'll make you a big star, right? And we deal with all these pros and all this kind of stuff. We're gonna get into that. Some of this is just commiseration because a lot of you guys already know, like, no, dude. But so this one is more actionable, I guess, or just something to think about for the brand new writers. Let me try not to say too much in this one. It's bugging me. So with my lady, for example, right? She has used headhunters to find jobs, right? Jobs that pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's no joke, right? So the thing is, she doesn't pay for that. The company does. And they're legit players, these headhunters, these headhunting agencies, they're real. The jobs are real. She got a real job through them a couple times. But she doesn't pay for that. And they don't take any commission off of her earnings, none of that. The company pays for all of it. If they want the best players, then they gotta pay for that. You see what I'm saying? So that's how the services should work. If they have all these top pros, top this, top that, top everything, they're just shy of calling them A-list. Why do you think that is? That's what top means. They're trying to be funny with words there. Top, that's A-list. Who are we talking? Are we talking bad rope, like name specifically? Are we talking about J.J. Abrams? Are we talking about Ivana Ventura, Doug Lyman, Kleiner, Stoff, Orsi? You get the picture. Nolan, who are we talking here? McQuarrie, I could go on into infinity. Is that what we're talking? That's what they're implying. The top. That's the top. Okay, so shouldn't those people be paying? If that's who it is, that's what they're implying. I don't believe that's who it is for not even a split second. Okay, there's no possible way. So if it was people like that at the top, then they should be paying for that. They should be paying the writers submission fees and all this kind of shit. The writers should be able to send their work in for absolutely free, and they make money off the big players, not off you, not off little you struggling writer. To get it? That's how it should work. Which says a lot about how nonsensical that the service industries are. It works backwards, dude. It works backwards from the way headhunters work. It works backwards from the actual industry. No one works like that in the industry. Nobody. You pay no one up front. No one. You don't pay your agents up front. You don't pay your managers up front. Nobody. Only time is if if you want your lawyer to look at a deal for something, you know, before the deal's in motion. Like if the deal's in motion, you know, like meaning, like let's say you go straight to your agent and you're like, I want to do this indie thing. Did I say lawyer? You go straight to your lawyer. I want to do this indie thing. I want to put together a contract for it. Cool. Then you got to pay that. If you come over here through your agents and you go through the studio world and then it goes to your lawyer, you don't pay up front. They take a commission off the deal. You know, let's separate those two. That's the only time you would ever pay up front for anything in the industry, ever. Okay, so, and they also call these things OWAs. Oh, mom, look at that. Imagine what that says. That says that you're green as hell and you're trying to break in through this website who claims that they can get you with the top pros on the planet, top industry pro. That's what it means. I can get you with A-list people, the biggest players in the world. That's what that's saying. Sorry. So you honestly believe that they, with this service website, that they have the traction to get all those people, all the pros to come to them, and you have to go through me? No, dude, that's not how it works. And do you honestly think that you can buy, hey mom, guess what? I'm out for open writing assignments. Somehow, some way, this website promised me that I can bypass all the pros in the industry, pro writers that are signed with CAA, WME, Verve, all the managers, They promise that I can bypass all that with no credits and no, you know, development experience, nothing. Nothing. And I bypassed all them through this service, mom. Isn't that fucking rad? Oh, way to go, honey. No, that's not reality, dude. That's not how it works. You're not gonna bypass a bunch of pros. You know what I mean? I'm on the bottom, bro. You're not gonna bypass me through this website. You're not. Okay? And for example, I can go direct to certain A-list producers. How did that happen? Through CAA. You know, if you want the truth, that's how I met them. You know? You're not going to beat a CAA. They are not going to beat a CAA. They're not. And think about that. Why in the world would these top players go to a website like this? So you got to understand, man, if you're green as fuck, you got to understand that. So they're saying, we are asking for scripts for this A-list person. Meanwhile, if that was real, it's not. Or prove it. Have them prove it to us. They never will. That's why I know I'm right. Because it makes no sense. It's illogical that a big player would go to them when you have a CAA and a WME. I'm going to stop right there. Tons of agents in there, hundreds of agents sending them material. And they've already told their agents, I'm looking for something like this. Probably. You know? But send me any other good shit you think would be up my alley. And so they do. And that's why, for example, DeLuca attached to one of my things. He wasn't asking for a political show about 2.0, Democracy 2.0. He wasn't. I guarantee you that was not on his mandate. But Sherry sent it over there thinking it could be. And apparently it was, because he attached to it. And these service people think they're gonna beat out CAA agents and WME? Like, no, dude. You gotta understand, these producers, they're getting a ton of scripts from every single one of those agencies and every single one of those managers. They're inundated from the top everybody in the whole entire industry, you know, champing at the bit to get them material. So much so that this falls into this too, that one of my past managers said, I can get it in the company, but only at the bottom. And I said, I know the boss, okay? Never mind, like, let me do it. I'll go straight to him and then put you guys together. Cool, is that good? Boom, okay? I guarantee you they can't get you to someone like that. There's no way. There's no way. So I also want to point out So no, that's not how open writing assignments work. You don't break into the industry with an open writing assignment. You break in with a spec. No one real is gonna offer an open writing assignment to some brand new green writer who's never done anything. It's not gonna happen. Okay? It's gonna be bottom feeders, dude. Maybe some of these jobs might be actual jobs, maybe, but they're gonna fucking lowball you because they don't have any money, or they wouldn't be on this site. See, that's their fate. That's game over right there. These top players and these verified pros wouldn't be on this site if they were top players. It makes no sense. It's an oxymoron. Because if they were top pros, then they would have huge players sending them shit constantly. Bro, I'm so inundated with shit. Like, I don't have time. Like, I don't need this. I don't got time for that. To have them, they're sending them top, like, at very least, writers like me who've written 14 fucking scripts and developed with a bunch of people and know a bunch of people and have already worked with A-list players and shit like this. At the very least, that's who they're sending over there. They're not sending over, at the very least, understand that, I'm on the bottom. So if you're down here in Greenland, who do you think they're gonna take more seriously? Me at the bottom, or someone way higher than me who's had movies come out, you know, maybe even hits? You think they're gonna go look for someone who's absolutely green, doesn't know anything about the industry, isn't even in LA, or an A-list writer? Think it through, my guys. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of you guys already know this shit, so this ain't for you. This is just commiseration. You're just like, yeah, of course. But for the green folks, no, bro. Okay? There was one testimony on here that that's the first one in that row is so-and-so got a general, and that's their claim to fame. A place like CA or WME is like, dude, we do that all day. That's like bare minimum for us. That's not something to fucking put on a website. You know, can you imagine? You know, can you imagine that? CA puts, one of our clients got a general. Wow, guys, see how successful we are at our jobs? That would seem so absolutely absurd, silly. But let's go to make this thing even more stupid. Imagine if they had their biggest clients on their website, and if you click onto the landing page and CA has like, or WME, I'm just gonna stick with those two for this one, had testimonials from their biggest clients. Brad Pitt, CA really helped me in my career, you know, reach my dreams. George Clooney, I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't have a $40 million house in the south of France if it wasn't for CA. You know, keep going with those. Chris Nolan, without CA, I wouldn't have my $200 million, you know, $1 billion box office hits. Thanks, CA. Thanks for helping me reach my dreams. Can you imagine how fucking absurd that would be? They should do that for April Fools, you know, but they don't got time to do that shit. But they are kind of, they do as stiff and as like, is dead serious as CA is, how stiff they are, like robots. Hi, come on in, nice to meet you, sit down, you know, $10,000 suit and shit, you know, $40,000 watch, you know. Sidebar, you wanna know how much some of this shit costs? Then I was gonna point out like the agent's home and shit like this. One home, I looked up one of the spots the other day. Guess what it's going for now? Guess how many thousand to rent it? $5,000, is that your guess? No, keep going, bro. 10, nah, you're low, dude. 15, no, keep going, dude. 18, no. 20, no, dude. 25, no. 30, bro? $30,000 a month. Yep. Holy fuck, bro. Could I afford that place now? Absolutely not. Some of these agents can. How much is that though? A year, $360,000 a year. Just for that. You do all the phantom costs, boom, you're up to 400 grand a year. Just for the shell of where you live. Do you think these service people can afford that shit? No. No, dude. They don't even make that in a year. Gross. Or show me. If they're making more than that a year, holy crap, man. You guys are being stupid, bro. Give them all that money for nothing. Let's go here now. So that's a reality, man. But I'll like agents and shit like that. How much are they paying for that shit? Shit like that sometimes. 30 grand a fucking month, dude. Okay. That doesn't cover groceries, vacations, clothes, whatever else. You know what I mean? Like, but some of the agents can afford shit like that. So when you're a writer, by the way, speaking of money, real quick, when you're a writer, you know, let's say you want to make $500,000 a year, right? How many spec scripts is that selling at scale? It's around 10. You make $500,000 a year. $500,000 a year. The other point there is, what is middle class in LA? I would say 500,000. To be middle class, yeah, around 500,000. Okay, what's it going to take you to get to 500,000 as a writer? But a lot of writers think, dude, no, I'm just gonna sell all my shit for $1 million, $3 million a script. I've seen the announcements. That's probably not gonna happen for you, bro. Probably not. So you know, blue collar writer, there's a number you need to hit. 10 spec scales a year at scale gives you around 500,000. That's a lot. Do you even write 10 scripts a year? How many scripts are you gonna have to write to sell 10 a year? Okay, it's fucking hard, man. I'm just telling you, making money as a writer is fucking stupid hard. So, you know, to live in that, and that's, bro, that house does not have an infinity pool. You wanna get to the infinity pool type of money? You're paying 100 grand a month. Just so you know, man. Just so you know how much your dream costs. And that's just for the fucking house. Okay? So, but some people get to the level where they can afford that shit. Cool, good for them. Let's go over here now. I want to go to this Reddit thing. I'll try to hurry the rest of this shit up. So someone on Reddit. I'm never on Reddit. I just typed in this company, and it happened to be the link below it, and so I clicked on it. What's this? You know, screenwriter. This is 5 years ago. Looking for success failure stories regarding ISA writing gigs. I have a free ISA membership coming up because of placements in competitions. So I'm just wondering how much time one might consider investing money into submitting to the assignments. To expand, does anyone have thoughts or knowledge on whether / how much selling a script via ISA would move the needle, quote unquote, parentheses, or make it more likely to be a one-time thing, in parentheses? Okay, let me say quick on that. If your script comes through, ISA is irrelevant to the industry. So there's the answer there. Is ISA gonna, because a script came through ISA somehow or something, and maybe something happened, does that move the career needle? No, dude. No one gives a fuck about ISA. No one cares about any of these other services, whoever the fuck they are. I'll name some other ones so ISA doesn't feel picked on. Stage 32, they don't care. ISA, they don't care. They don't care about the blacklist. They barely care about the annual blacklist. They don't give a fuck about the website. Not if they're big players, you know, like they're saying, top industry pros, okay? They don't care about any of these services, any of these contests. They barely care about the nickel. Yeah, you know, I don't give a fuck. If someone else gives me this, someone else bets it that I know, then I'll read the nickel winner. That's how Sherry moved. That's how a lot of agents that I know, veterans, that's how they move. They're not gonna give a fuck that they won the nickel. Cool. Let someone else let them read it first. Someone I know who then tells me this is a fucking good one. I vouch for it. Fuck the nickel. I vouch for it. Then they might be like, okay, I'll take a look at it. You know, that's how it works. So here's someone answering. Sure, been playing this game since Mayish. Had heard good things, so paid out for a year. Good things from who, though? You know what I mean? From them? From these services? Or from people you know? Like, do you know someone who's like, yeah, dude, I got a gig through them and they paid like decently, you know? I had a call recently where someone wanted to sell this shit through the studio and they guessed at what they would get paid. It was low, dude. And I'm like, that you can't get paid that low with the studio film. That's impossible. So get that out of your mind. It's just scale. Go look up what scale is and add 10 grand to that. You know. Where are we? And then this person said they'd been paying for about a year, but kind of wish they hadn't. They said there's some bug that makes it so you click around after you submitted something, you go back to your submission and see, lo and behold, it's under consideration. But it's only been 10 minutes. Reported it, was told, oh yeah, bug we're working on. We're working on it. That was months and months ago, and they're still working on it? Listen, bro, does that not... and then they go on to say three, that was one, then they go on to, already past two, I guess. No. They said two mini oppos, meaning colleagues and friends and other writers and shit, come up to submit work, sometimes to ISA verified producer, and they hang there forever. ASI says, we instituted a rule that they must clear out their entries after 90 days. I've got one that's been hanging there for 120 days. So bullshit. Do you think they really care? I mean, honestly, man. And do you think these jobs are real? Okay. I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna jump down. So basically, this person came to the correct conclusion that there are no shortcuts, because these services will promise you, and I forgot to mention that in the other video. I read right past that. This service has fast-tracked me. They want to get that in. They're fast-tracked because they know you're fucking impatient, which goes back to my other video about being patient. This person realizes, finally, people, there are no shortcuts in industry. I don't know what that means, but they're saying there's no fast track. Got to pay your dues. That's just how it works. These websites are not going to fast track you around pros that are established and shit. It's not going to fucking happen. Believe it if you want to, man. But let me go down. I'm going to go down to someone else's comment. This person says, one time I got interest from a director producer who insists these are the pros that these places, not just ISA, all of them are trying to hook you up with. These type of people. I've already dealt with these type of people when I was a composer. But then when I got signed to CAA as a writer, I never had to deal with any of these type of people ever again, because CAA doesn't send clients to places like that. And whoever else repped me or after that would never sell me to or send me to like bottom feeder people like this. This is what you get from these services. One time I got interest from a director producer, generally speaking, who insisted he needed a full script from him, full script in 4 weeks based off a 1-sentence prompt. No payment, free write, and no other discussion. As a naive young writer who was promised that he could secure a B-level actor, the director-producer, I promptly finished it. He never even read the thing and said he lost my email during a move. And this writer says, what? You didn't read it. I wrote this fucking thing for free. You didn't read it. And you said you lost my email? All you gotta do is log into your email. In a move, how do you lose it? He's like, this makes no fucking sense, the writer, which taught him a big lesson. And then didn't respond to any further emails. Apparently, he did the same thing to a few other writers as well. I avoid ISA like the plague now. There doesn't seem to be any screening of posts. Where am I at? Any screening of posts, and seems like a waste of time for desperate writers. Honestly, I've found more legitimate opportunities through Reddit with harder working people trying to break in together. Person below them, waste of time and money. I doubt any of the leads are real, in much the same way as Inktip and Virtual Pitch Fest. If they work, their success would speak for itself. See, some people are starting to get this shit. Instead of claiming success with projects that we all know with a quick Google search were discovered elsewhere. See? Some of these people are getting it good, man. So, that's why I waste my time doing my fucking channel, trying to help. Like, let me bang out a fucking video in 30 minutes and try to fucking help some people get it. And so I don't want my shit to go viral necessarily, because it won't, because who cares? I'll never get paid off this, none of that. But just take some of the shit I say in here and spread the word, man, your own way. Or test the shit out yourself and see how it leads to nothing. I know exactly what type of people, those are the type of people in these services. They're not fucking pros, dude. They're not high level pros. That's impossible for them to have that access. They don't. But then why does CAA and whatever other, like they post the logos and shit. I've said it before, man. CAA probably feels like, and WME and everybody else probably feels like, cool. Like, let them lie about that shit. I don't give a fuck. That's just one more sort of filter for us. So go ahead, use our fucking logo and slow the flood of material into the industry. And the ones that believe in this shit are gonna get trapped there, and they're never gonna make it beyond that. And they're never gonna do the shit I say, like call people and query and fucking get out there, go past these. They're never gonna do that. So they're stuck there. So the big agencies are like, good, that helps us. So we're not gonna try to stop you. And then the ones that go around that shit, then no, those people will get to us somehow, some way. And those are the people that will sign. The new ones. Okay. I'm already at 27, bro. What else? I'm almost done. One of my homeboys text me, and I'm not gonna say who you are, but I'll just mention some shit. Someone else said, I was asked to write an entire screenplay of someone else's idea because they had a deal waiting at a studio. No, they didn't. This writer knows that. This writer has already been through that bullshit and knows. Like, he's just talking about like his green self, like back in the day. He knows better now than this shit. But let's say someone else sent me this. But another U.S.-based service, the one that led the person to me. Someone asked me to write their idea for free. They're talking about the person is implying that they have a blind deal. They don't. Like, see, but you got to have a little bit of experience to be able to. I understand how a brand new writer could fall for that. Oh, you have a deal at a studio? They're just waiting for you to send them something. That'd be a blind deal, but that's not how those deals work. The studio has to sign off on it. You don't just go out and just like, let me just get a script and give them that and they'll buy it. That's not how that works. So, for some of us, it's easy to see that that's fucking bullshit. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. But I can see how brand new writers get fucking taken. All you got to do is go on one of these services like that. I could do it today and say, I'm a pro. I need scripts. I have one idea. Here's one sentence. Give me 20 scripts. And people will go write it. They don't have the fucking script. And they'll go write a script to try to fit that. And bro, you're wasting your time, bro. You know what I mean? So yeah, I could have 50 scripts on my desk tomorrow and just sift through them and just be like, no, they don't even know who the fuck I am. You know what I mean? I could be like, let me dump all those scripts into an AI, make a movie out of this shit, and then go back to the best of that shit, and then just rewrite that, and then hand that over. What are you doing, man? Like, do not do this kind of shit, man. These people are full of shit. I promise you. They don't have a studio deal. You got your studio deal. You got to, what? You're on the lot? Come on, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, like they blew Smuck. He talks about Inktip. I haven't looked into them. They've been going a long time as well. They blew smoke up my ass, telling me I had a future. Of course, I had stars in my eyes. They wanted me to join their super access club, to super duper producers. That's how they always put this shit. You have VIP. Join our super access club. Pay us a little more money, a lot more, and then you get into the elite club. It's such bullshit, bro. They used to have a program called Talent Connector. We'd pay for their feedback, and if it got to a certain level, they'd put it on an email list to all their hush-hush verified people. Okay? And he's like, you know this shit. Same fucking model. Yeah, dude. Yeah, same bullshit, different company. So let's look at that right there. So he's dealing with a fucking bullshit person who wants him to do something for free, who's lying, who does not have a fucking studio deal. Okay, and they just want free material. And they're doing that to a bunch more writers, not just you, trying to get free scripts and try to fuck you out of anything you get in there and trying to push their name on there. I mean, there's so many fucking horror stories. I mean, the industry itself is bad enough, but to deal with all these fringe-ass, stupid-ass motherfuckers that are nobodies, fuck you, man. Fuck them. Not you guys. Fuck them, See, that's the thing. They admit it right there, They put it on a hush-hush list. And then query. They just put all your names into one query. You think a fucking agent is gonna go through that garbage? Here's a list of all the shit. Agents are gonna be like, dude, I don't got time to read all that shit. Delete. The agent gets a phone call. So-and-so's on the phone for you from ISA. Sherry'd been like, who? ISA. No. Dropped him from the phone sheet. I don't know who that is. Next, let's keep rolling calls. Who's next? Who? Steve Clovis. Cool. Run that call. Connect me. And they're on the computer as well, doing shit, emailing someone back about some other fucking thing. No, dude. Agents don't give a fuck about these companies. We've sent them the master list. They're like, trash, delete. Probably went into the spam folder anyway, because I've already said the spam, I don't know how they do it at CA or WB or a huge company like that, but that kind of shit's gonna get dumped, promise you. They never even fucking saw it. Okay? Anything else? Let me go here, fuck that. Where were that? I think you get it. Let me go here. My experience with these fucking bottom feeders. Years ago, in the composing world, I know, like, you're gonna tune out here, but whatever, I'm gonna keep going. It's the fucking same. Listen, so one of them was a real job, well, two of them. I'll tell you real jobs, okay? But with bottom feeders, okay? So one was a short, and he pays me $500 up front. I'm like, I'm between shit right now. Pays me $500 up front, and then I need to rush him the music in like a couple days, and then he's gonna pay me afterward, He doesn't have time right now, like, he'll get the money together. I'm like, this guy's a mess, bro. That's a huge red flag, when his girlfriend's in it and all this kind of like little baby industry shit. whatever. Puts this thing in a film festivals. It doesn't do anything. And then he doesn't fucking pay me what he owes me. Ghosts me, moves away. He leaves LA. And I track him down. I'm like, you owe me a couple grand, bro. And he's like, I'll start making payments monthly, like $100 a month. I'm like, so you tried to get music on layaway? Never fucking paid me. Here's another one. So there was a feature horror, $2 million budget. It was real. It was a real gig. Okay, so I go meet with director, producer. I meet with them, and they're talking about like, back end, and we're gonna make sure you're taking care of back end. You're gonna get back end points. Bullshit. This is all bullshit, man. And you're gonna get exposure bucks. Like this one's gonna really smash. Horror and what else? Whatever their other bullshit is. So I'm like, let's cut to the chase, man. Oh, and we're gonna, and the next movie we're gonna go higher budget, probably like 10 million. We're gonna have you on that, and we'll really be able to pay you there. And so I'm like, cut to the chase. How much? What's the quote? What's the offer? They're like, remember all that we said though, kind of $2 grand. I'm like, for 50 minutes of music, $2,000. Fuck you. But you'll get someone. No, it won't. The movie came out eventually. It did come out. Didn't do anything. Probably got a fucking 20 on Rotten Tomatoes. Piece of shit movie. Typical horror lake. This kind of cabin by the lake. I think it was called Lake something or something. Like piece of shit movie. But I would have made probably 50 minutes of music. I probably would have made 35 cents an hour, something like that. Way less than minimum wage, 35 cents an hour. I'm like, dude, I'm doing bumpers for $2,500 for 10 seconds of music. I can bang four of those out in a day. You know what I mean? That's 10 grand for one day. I'm like, I'd much rather do that. Am I gonna get famous off doing shit like that? No, but I'm like, I'd rather do that. I had a connect who's like my first bumper. I was like, I'm gonna have a bunch more for you. I'm like, cool, let's keep this going, man. Fuck these stupid ass movies that will mean nothing for me, and these low budget bullshit players. That's who these people are talking about. Was that a real movie? Yeah. What was the pay worth it? Fuck no. Was the exposure worth it? Absolutely not. Like people like that are the highest people these services know. I guarantee you, bro. I would miss all that shit, but keep doing them if you want to, bro. But once you step into the real industry, you leave these people way in the background, way in the fucking past, dude. Fuck these people. Anyway, good luck out there. Happy weekend, guys.